Jesus
I might need y'all to protect me from Ty, but
Oh, do we need a dual screen?
nah,
Lottie, it's too early, man. It's too early.
I'm just saying that My Hero chapter.
Oh, actually, I'm with you. Nah,
come
on.
Okay, I got some back. No, that My Hero chapter.
I'm backing in too, man.
I didn't even read it. I'm 2 chapters behind, but you can tell me. So
that Hero chapter is straight.
Let him read it first.
I'm sorry. The way that they're doing Shigaraki like this is
how are they doing though?
It's nasty. It's
bad, they kind of metaphorically jumping him right now.
No, they're metaphorically jumping.
They're metaphorically jumping him right now. You got to read the chapter. We're not trying to spoil it for you.
Could I tell you?
It's fine. You talking like the vestiges are helping Midoriya?
So what they're doing though? So what can I explain it to you, Ty? I mean, sure. I know you're gonna read it, but can I explain it to you?
Sure.
Okay. So there's a seam in or like a crack in Shigaraki's soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Binding everything together. That's
what Tomura is.
You know how this manga's about quirks, and powers and stuff like that. But we're going straight to the soul. So there's a crack in his soul. And what the vestiges are doing is that they're gonna hurl themselves at the crack in his soul, so that the inner child in him can be revealed and it can be exposed, and then that's how we're gonna eventually beat Shigaraki. So where they're gonna hurl themselves, basically like little quirk rockets at his soul.
Quirk rockets.
They're basically hurling themselves at quirk rockets at his soul to open up where the crying child in him is hidden deep inside. That's how they're gonna beat Shigaraki. Not with quirks, not with fighting. No, they're gonna hit him in his soul so his crying child can come out.
Nana's about to put in crazy work.
I have a question.
Get his ass.
That's about to put in crazy work.
We were in war.
That's stupid,
We've
bro.
had war. We saw Toga turn into an army. We saw Dabby go supernova, suicide. We saw All for One turn into a big monster and then get turned into a fetus. But no, we're gonna hit people in their soul to beat them, to beat the final boss. This is worse than Talk No Jutsu. This is worse because there's not even a conversation. This is just let me just hit him in his feelings. What?
When we saw Stars and Stripes again, when we saw Stars and Stripes again, we had questions, and it didn't have any better. It did not get any better from that.
I have to read for myself because I don't really know. That's fine, but one is I'm not really sure why that's that is talking about jutsu, is that you convince people to align with your line of
thinking. They're attacking his soul. They're not even talking to him.
He's not talking to him
from the inside out.
Shigaraki not trying to hear nothing.
He's not talking to him. He's throwing
no.
At his soul.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is what talking about jutsu is, right? So one is that we like the All for One and One for All. We know that typically how it's used, it can impact the way that it can impact your spirit. We know that because All for One used to manipulate people by giving them power, and that used to influence their minds. He tried to control his brother by stockpiling him with quirks in hopes they would change his spirit. So we know that is actually possible with that power. We know that. Two, I think it would make a lot of sense because the idea of who protects, not only who when the question about thematically was about who protects heroes, it also was about how do you save villains. That's a question. So I think it would actually fit if the way to beat Shigaraki is saving them. I don't think that's inconsistent.
You're sacrificing all your quirk.
Hold on. Considering that's something that that's been on Deku's mind for a while, is how he could potentially save Shigaraki. That's not something that just came out of nowhere. That's something we've noticed in Deku. And that's consistent with Deku is. If he has the opportunity to save someone, he will. That's something we know about Deku.
If you want to make the argument that, or not even the argument, if you want to make the case that Deku saving Shiggy makes sense because Deku is a good guy, fine. I think it's corny, but fine, whatever. The way they're doing it is still weird as hell, bro. I don't care because I've never seen it in MHA. And although I do agree that there's a certain semblance of it in the sense that how All for One takes quirks, there was never an outright soul-to-soul, soul-resonant battle between any quirk users in My Hero Academia. This is something that they have never truly shown like this. For the most part, from how MHA usually does, especially when it comes to big interaction. Obviously, it's going to be a fight. I would say if they did something where it's similar to how he took the quirk or maybe combined the quirks and blew them up, that's one thing. He is throwing individual soul parts of his quirk at his soul to save his life. That is not something I've seen. That is corny material. I'll be honest. That stuff is corny material.
Corny.
Wait, you're saying that we've never seen what quirks, but we know that one for all and all for one are fundamentally different in every quirk, like ever. And we understand that
help the case, bro. That doesn't help the case.
No. Just listen to what I'm saying. We know that those quirks, like asking something that we know only these two quirks could do and other quirks, to me, is not a good argument because we know these quirks work differently than other quirks. We know that. The fact that Deku interacts with previous users, their spirits suggest that this quirk is obviously does not work fundamentally like other quirks. So I'm not going to explain.
I understand that, Ty, but now that you're talking about attacking souls when you've never established this before until now,
it's not even that random. It's the fact that he's not even fighting Shigaraki. He's low-key just surviving until he steals all his quirks, so the quirks can do the job for him, so he can talk to the inner child and save the inner child. So he's going to
talk to him. That's Nana's job.
He's basically just going to be surviving right now until all the quirks are gone, just so like the quirks can like reveal the inner child in Shigaraki. Like you're not even beating him. You're not out dueling him. You're just surviving until the quirks do the job for you, so you can talk. So you can somehow connect with his inner child.
What's wrong with that approach?
It's corny as hell.
Corny.
It's just corny.
It's corny. I don't think the precedent is set, even though you said that, yeah, they work differently. You have to set up a certain level of precedent or a certain level of establishment on how this is going to work throughout the series. And this is just a one final jump. This is similar to Naruto, where it's like, I don't know how I'm going to beat the villain, so I'm going to just, you know what? Fuck it, YOLO. And that's what that feels like right there. YOLO. I can't beat him.
No jutsu.
Throw quirks at him, bro. Come
I
on
do
now.
think this, right? So, like, my thing is this: just because I've never seen something in a story, I do think that it has been enough to make this believable. So the fact that we know that the All for One for All are connected, we know that, and we know that All for One One for All can interact with the previous user's souls. Why is it a stretch to say, okay, it can also interact with the All for One user as well, All One user soul?
And that's not what That's
what I'm asking that because Radel said there's no precedent set for. I'm saying sometimes you don't need to necessarily see this exact thing happen for the next step to make sense. That's what I'm asking. If we see these two quirks are 100%, we know they're connected, and we know that they can influence each other, and we know that if you're a One for All user, you can literally communicate with the previous user's souls. So why is it then a stretch to say I can't also interact with the previous One for All for One's user soul as well?
I think my main issue is that he's not beating him in a fight. He's not even talking. He's not talking him down. He's going directly to he's going directly into his soul to talk to his inner child to basically stop Shigaraki from fighting. Okay. That to me, it's like you're not fighting him. You're not even talking to him. You're doing you're basically doing a reach around.
I guess I'm a little confused is that if he feels like this is the best, I guess so. So your biggest problem is that he's not just gonna question. How would you prefer he beat Shigaraki? Just beat him in a fight, or?
So my thing is like it's all about execution.
No, I'm asking. I want to ask Lonnie specifically because he said a reach around. So I'm asking
oh yeah, go for it.
I'll just
let it play out.
So I think Shiggy's so powerful at this point.
At this point, he's too powerful, or it's like I don't know how Deku would beat him, but at the same time,
you can't let him. Yeah, you can't let Shiggy touch the ground. Now he can't touch Deku because he'll just take quirks from Deku or vestiges, right? He's so powerful at this point. I feel like.
So I'm asking, how would y'all, Lonnie, if in a perfect world, how would you want him to beat Shigaraki?
I feel like it'd have to be a combination of the fighting and not necessarily talking, but still a one-on-one type of interaction, not like a whole, since I can't get through to you, I'm gonna go past you, and it's almost like you can't beat a bully, so you're gonna go tell their mom or tell the teacher. That's basically what it kind of feels like is going on. Like he can't deal with the problem directly, so he found so they created a whole different way to deal with the problem.
But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is if he's saying that I need to connect with you on a different level to convince you, that's pretty much what that's suggesting. If I can't communicate to you this way, maybe because is it him going around the problem or him going to the root of the problem? The root of the problem is that there's a piece of Shigaraki that has the capacity to be better, but we can't get to that. So
Deku didn't create the plan. It was actually one of the
I'm not talking about who's creating the plan. I'm talking about the problem. If he's saying go around the problem, say, well, isn't the root of the problem that this Shigaraki isn't the Shigaraki we're seeing right now? So let me go talk to that version. That's not him.
Yeah, I think that's part of the issue. Like, it's something that Deku should do himself. Like, this is the main antagonist and the main character. This is the final showdown, and he's not even like the reason why this is all happening. Like, it's like,
especially since you've killed off all for one the way you did.
It almost feels like, if this was like JJK, this is like, instead of Yuji beating Sukuna or something like that, it was like Nabara or like Maki or something. So Maki came in and like knocked Sukuna's head off and for the win. Like it's just.
I think you need to read the chapter, Ty. Maybe you'll see where we come from when you read the chapter.
That analogy. That's kind of crazy because like he's using the previous users' help. This isn't something random. These are the previous users that. Hold on a second. If a big part of the story is legacy and the next generation relying, at least them preparing, like to me, if he's the one that's going to directly communicate Shiraki, them helping him do that, to me, I'm trying to figure out why is that a problem.
I think you need to read the chapter.
Yeah,
because I think you need to read the chapter. No, I see where you're kind of coming from, Ty, but like. We all read it, and we're all like, "This doesn't."
I feel like the execution is bad, and the whole thing
it feels really bad.
You have to read the chapter because
but I guess what I'm asking is like, do y'all think that because now you said that he's not gonna be the one doing? Are you upset that he didn't create the plan, or are you upset that you don't think he's gonna talk to shit? Like, what is? I'm trying to figure out what is your exact right.
Like I said, you have to read it because he didn't. You can put it all in there. He didn't make the plan. It's not his decision.
Why is that a problem?
The vestiges are doing. I'm saying it's a collection. It's not like if it was just one thing, then it wouldn't be. But I'm saying it's a collection of things. The vestiges are doing all the work to open up the thing, and then they're also, so it's like they're doing all the heavy lifting for like the main character to deal with the main antagonist. That's where I'm coming. It's like
hold off Shigaraki until the vestiges can complete that.
Well, Shigaraki said, like in the latest chapter, he's like, "I'm not going to use my dismantle on you. I'm just going to keep stealing your quirks." Which is fine.
But again, doesn't he have? If Deku dies right now, can they complete their job?
No. So, but I mean, Lonnie.
But Shigaraki said he's not going to.
He said it's a collective of things. Based on what Lonnie's saying, he said it's a collective of things, including him not creating the plan, him not being the main solution. It's not technically Deku; it's the quirks that Deku uses. So he's not creating the plan. He's not doing the prime, most important job, and everything's gonna end for Deku as long as he can survive long enough.
Hold on a second. I have a question. If the main plan is to communicate with that inner Shigaraki, who y'all think is gonna do that part?
The quirks.
Yeah.
Y'all
I don't think Deku's gonna do it.
How is Deku gonna be able to talk to his soul?
Wait, time out.
That hasn't been explained.
Y'all think that they're gonna go in and talk to him, and Deku's gonna be outside and wait till it's finished?
Yes.
Okay, that's crazy. That is.
I think Deku's gonna be able to talk
right
to
now. Right now, Gear Shift is going first.
We have to save this.
Yes,
y'all are saying right now.
Well, let's be specific. Well, for me at the very least, I'm not gonna speak for nobody else. For me, I
want to hear what Lonnie just said. What did Lonnie just say? You just said.
I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't explain how he's gonna be able to talk to Shigaraki's soul, did they? Did they explain that?
No, Deku's not even included in the plan.
No,
so again, they're bringing out his inner child. They're gonna bring out his inner child.
So let me ask y'all this: if the plan is to is the plan to communicate to the younger version of Shigaraki?
It looks like it's more so to throw the quirks at the soul to open up the rift. That's the plan.
I legitimately think that
they're going to open up the thing,
and then Nana's going to go in there and have the conversation with.
Yeah, that's random headcanon. Well, hold up, that's random headcanon.
Right, that's my headcanon. That's what I'm thinking.
The goal is for the quirks to open up the crack by like throwing them at them. So there's there's actually no talking. That's more of headcanon. So their plan is purely to just throw the quirks at the soul crack.
Especially since you brought back Stars and Stripe. You brought back Stars and Stripes for all that she's doing is pointing at the crack.
I just have a question.
That's the only reason she's there.
I'm trying to get this because so y'all are saying that once they throw it at the crack, Deku does nothing after that.
How is he going to be able to talk to Tomura? How is he going to be able to talk to Tomura at all?
I don't know, but I'm asking y'all. I think he's going to be involved in the ending of the Shigaraki. Y'all are saying that he's going to be just watching as they do it. I think that's crazy.
Oh no, I don't think. I thought the original question is, will he be inside his soul communicating to the kid version? I don't think that will happen. Maybe a cinematic, what is it called? Like a not hypothetical, but more of a metaphorical situation where he's talking to the kid version, where he's not actually talking to the kid version, could happen. But I don't think he's gonna go into his soul. Will he beat on him and maybe say something to the outside version? Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Probably. Country Club. I don't know how he's gonna beat Shigaraki physically because he just lost Gear Shift, and so like he can't.
I think he still has the strength.
Yeah, he still has the strength in Black Whip, and we saw this. Like,
we know Black Whip is not leaving him unless absolutely necessary.
Let me read this chapter. They read these 2 chapters
because Gear Shift is going first, so that the whatever that strain is on Deku's body is going to technically transfer to Shigaraki's body. That's what's happening.
I just read it. It kind of looks like what Country Club is saying, though, because it does seem like Deku's about to stall him one-on-one while they do the mental attack. Like they're gonna have equal impact.
He 100% is gonna stall, but there's not really a communication. They're just gonna be throwing the quirks.
Legitimate. This is gonna be Nana's time to shine. I understand that she's a vestige, and we know that she is Tomura's grandmother. This is where they finally meet. They have the conversation, and then maybe Deku can take advantage from whatever that conversation has. That's why my headcanon is that way. That Nana's going to be the person to kind of, because it'll be crazy if like the guy who knows freaking Smokescreen talks to freaking
that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like Nana's going to be the person who kind of brings, I guess, starts bringing Shigaraki down.
Well, I'll say this, man. I want to move on to